Good morning, everyone. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. First item on the agenda is motion to recess the Commissioners' meeting to hold a retirement board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to call the retirement board meeting to order.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 19, 2025 agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the October 15, 2025 minutes.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'm going to abstain. I wasn't at that meeting, so all in favor?
Aye.
Under new business, motion to approve the refunds of contributions to employees no longer with the county, and there are 5 individuals listed.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, motion to approve the following deferred retirement, 1 person listed.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 3, motion to approve the following retirements, and there's 1 person listed.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
4, motion to approve the following invoices for payment. Beyond Investment, $59,425.17. Broadridge Matrix Trust Company, $13,733.03.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the retirement board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene the Commissioners' meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next item is any public comments or questions concerning today's agenda. All right, seeing no one, we'll move on. Motion to approve the November 19, 2025 agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 5th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the November 12th, 2025 conference minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the general fund for county bills for $450,040.57.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the Bridge Road Repair Fund in the amount of $39,547.64.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve payment from the election fund in the amount of $31,672.43.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Under personnel, motion to hire Skylar Davis as a 911 dispatcher trainee in the Department of Public Safety for a 40-hour work week effective December 1st, 2025, pending successful drug screening results with benefits after 90 days. This is a replacement position.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recess the Commissioners' meeting to hold a salary board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
The salary board, motion to convene the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve November 5th and 12th, 2025 salary board minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to set the hourly rate of Skylar Davis at $22 per hour as a 911 dispatcher trainee in the Department of Public Safety for a 40-hour work week effective December 1st, 2025, pending successful drug screening results with benefits after 90 days.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Before, motion to adjourn the salary board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reconvene the Commissioners' meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Under old business, motion to award the bid for the 2026 tax anticipation note to Wayne Bank at a fixed rate of 3.17% with fees and legal counsel not to exceed $500. I will make that motion.
Second.
I will
Motion
abstain.
is second. Ron will abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
Under new business, motion to advertise the 2026 Pike County budget.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the Human Services ERAP 2.0 payment voucher in the amount of $3,093.06 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the 2023 Community Development Block Grant Program payment voucher payable to Hailstone Economic in the amount of $8 on behalf of the Office of Human Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
A resolution A motion for a resolution of Pike County Commonwealth of Pennsylvania authorizing the submission of an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for funding through the Community Development Block Grant Program as authorized under the Housing and Community Development Act, 42 U.S.C. 5301 and 24 CFR Part 570, and further certifying compliance with the requirements of said programs.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to execute the renewal of network administration agreement between Highmark Incorporated and the County of Pike.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to authorize the chairman to execute the 2026 through 2030 tax collector bonds proposal.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to execute the contract for professional services between Heather Christensen, LCSW RPT-S, whatever that is, sorry, and the County of Pike on behalf of the Children Youth Services.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the fiscal year 2025 third quarter payment from the Pike County Emergency Medical Services Matching Grant Fund to Blooming Grove Township in the amount of $1,889.80. Delaware Township in the amount of $53,750. Dingman Township in the amount of $87,200. Green Township in the amount of $2,334.66. Lackawaxen Township in the amount of $82,000. Lehman Township in the amount of $89,180.46. Matamoros Borough in the amount of $7,210.50. Milford Borough in the amount of $10,000. Milford Township in the amount of $15,000. Palmyra Township in the amount of $64,508.77. Porter Township in the amount of $8,228.52. Shahola Township in the amount of $24,500. And Westfall Township in the amount of $28,021.24.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Go to miscellaneous. So the first item under miscellaneous, as we do at every meeting, is the Penn State Extension calendar of events for everybody's information. And next we have is about the America 250 Bells Across America unveiling ceremony, which is on December 6th, 2025. That is the tree lighting ceremony in the borough. And we have Tricia Kaler. Thank you, Tricia. Art Education and Art Director, Chairperson of Delaware Valley School District. So I'll give a little explanation so why you're here. So the program was that the state of Pennsylvania and through Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau, they sponsored a bell which was to be displayed in each county, and the sponsorship was Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau for Pike County. At that time, then, we put out a request to the school districts to provide artwork for design on the bell. We went to the 3 school districts, and through the approval process of PMBB and the state, the winner was Delaware Valley, correct? And you are the art director. And we're going to just speak a little bit about the bell. Is there anybody here from the 250th? Nope. Okay. But you could always ask her a few questions if you had to. Because Shannon is our representative for this.
All right, well, thank you for the lovely introduction, and you explained a lot of the project, so that's less talking that I have to do, so thank you. So I'll talk more about how my students and the staff at Delaware Valley worked on the bell. So as Commissioner mentioned, that we were awarded the commission for that. What I did was, I thought it was a really great project to involve both the staff and the students at the high school. So along with the staff, the other 3 art teachers and myself, we asked my AP class for this year. So last year in May when we decided to apply for the project, I approached my students that had signed up for the class this year, and I asked them all to submit sketches for ideas for the bell, and things that we could focus on was just what makes our community special and Pike County and special. So we decided to focus on the nature, the natural beauty of Pike County. So we discussed, we got together, we had a discussion, and we talked about all of those things, and my students submitted sketches. And then the art department, we sat down together to review those sketches, and we came up with a plan for the bell. And then when the students came back to school this year, we got started on painting the bell. So students worked really hard along with the other art teachers collaboratively to to design it and execute and paint the bell. They spend a lot of time working after school, and they're really excited to share it with you on December 6th.
So it'll be December 6th at the tree lighting. Everybody will be invited, and that's where it will be unveiled. I believe that ceremony will be being put on by the American 250 group, right, along with us and other people in the community. Everybody will be invited. I've seen the design. The design is absolutely beautiful. It really represents Pike County well, and we appreciate all the hard work the kids did. And you, of course, to put this together. I don't know if anyone had any questions for her about it.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions for you.
We're not going to show you the design until December 6th.
Yeah, as a visual person, I feel really silly standing up here without visual aids for you, but I can't show you what it looks like. I asked Shannon if I could bring some pictures, and she said no.
We wanted to be a surprise, right?
It's
So we wanted
a
people to come.
surprise,
Yeah.
that's the unveiling.
Yeah, and we're really proud of the kids that did this. They did a fine job. Thank you.
Do we know the time of the tree lighting? I know it's half done.
Well, 3 o'clock, there's some events going on earlier, then I think music starts at noon in the pavilion, and then this is at 3 o'clock, and then the tree lighting ceremony normally starts around 4. By the time we do all the fanfare and whatever, the lights get turned on somewhere around 5, when it gets dark, obviously.
Yeah, right.
And Santa Claus shows up. So it's typical of what goes on every year in the borough for probably the last 40 or 50 years. And this is just an adding. This is to open up the ceremonies for next year being the 250th anniversary.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, the next one that's on the agenda was Habitat for Humanity. Mr. Donlin could not make the meeting, so we're going to put that off until the next meeting when he can be here and we can present him with a check. The next item we have on there, and this is for Kinder Morgan. Kinder Morgan runs the gas pipelines through our county. And they have always been very generous to the county to recognize us with donations. And for the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, they have made contributions to the EMS fund that is held at the Greater Pike Community Foundation. And again, as in other years, they donated $25,000 towards that fund. Mr. Alan Ford couldn't be here, who's normally the Vice President of Public Affairs. He's normally here, but he couldn't make it. But more importantly, and as I told him, the most important thing that arrived was the check. Not that I don't want to see Alan, I enjoy seeing him every year, but the check is very important. But I thought it was important the check is made out to the Greater Pike Community Foundation because that's where the funds are held, which, as we've talked about other times about this is how we fund and pay for every person in this county who wants to become an EMT can sign up and go to the training center, and this fund pays for their entire education for that. So it's something that was started as a press release a number of years ago through the generosity of Jason Oliger, and then on top of that, a gentleman who lives in Twin Lakes named William Lovejoy, who put the seed money in. And from that time, it has grown where Jason does a golf tournament every year and raises $15,000 to $18,000. We have this money that comes in. I know Tim and EMS or EMA, they find funding through the state. So I think the fund right now sits at somewhere, as I'm going to round it off, about $160,000 with this 25, I believe. So it's a really great program for the county. As we know, we had trouble finding EMTs, and prior to this, anybody who needed to be trained, and Timmy can speak to this a little bit, is they had to go down to other areas, maybe down below Monroe. Now it's all done right here in Pike County. I wanted Tim to come and just talk to us about the success of this year as we move into 26. So, Tim, you're on.
Thanks. Yeah, without this fund, we'd have a hard time. We'd have to send our students out of the county basically to get the training they need to be EMTs. Just this last year, we're in our second year now of AEMT too, and I just heard a new statistic yesterday about that. There's only 3 agencies in the whole Northeast section here where the Northeast EMS Conference operates. I think there's 133 ambulance companies. There's only 3 ETAs that actually teach the AEMT, and we're one of them right here in Pike. So not only are we able to get the student to the EMT level, we're able to get to that advanced level where they can start lines and they can administer certain medications and everything. So that's a big feat. Right now, we're basically finishing up EMT class number, seems like 100. Our fall class is finishing up. Saturday's their last day. Was there 16 or 18 in there? Yeah. There's 16 or 18 students in that class, so hopefully we'll be able to move them along. One of the things that we've been able to do, the AMT class, or the EMT class, I'm sorry, is not the easiest class to take. It's very hard. The success rate in the state is very minimal. I think the success rate is hovering around 50 to somewhere maybe up in the 60. But we've done a lot of work over the last couple of years to really get our class to where we wanted to be. And before this class started, we had like an 80% success pass rating. So we're like 30% better than the state is. So we're really happy about that. And you know, without folks like Kinder Morgan donating money and Jason Ollinger and Mr. Lovejoy, none of this would be possible, because it's not only paying the $1,500 or $1,600 for the student to go through the class, it's all the equipment required. I mean, we made a huge commitment as far as equipment wise just to do the AEMT class, and every year we have to add stuff to that. So without all this stuff, coming together and working with the great folks at Greater Pike, none of this would be possible for us to accomplish. So we're really proud of that. And this fund don't only benefit the EMS side too, it also benefits fire side, because any of the first aid or CPR training we do on that side, we use the fund for that stuff too. So, it's hitting all edges of the emergency services here in the county, and we'd be in pretty bad shape without the folks supporting us and getting the job done, basically.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
So we have Rick Little from Greater Pike and Luke Turano, the president. I don't know if you have anything you want to say. We do have the check for you. We're going to do a little photo op, because I know that's why you came.
That's right.
I don't know if you had any words or.
I just want to thank Kinder Morgan for their support of this initiative, and thank obviously the county for our partnership. We're happy to be supportive of this program. So,
Okay.
Thanks so much.
I don't know if you had anything else, or we can do a little photo op, because I know you guys are busy. I know Mr. Allen would like a picture. We're going to superimpose him in here, so make believe he's here. Yeah, of course.
I don't want to check.
Please, yes.
I know we make
What are you going to do?
like that.
Okay, everyone ready? Smile. One this way too. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, so that moves us to press and public comment.
Question over here. The EMS program that you just made the quarterly payments to, obviously it has been an original program here in Pike County. Can you talk about whether or not other counties in the state have adopted any type of similar programs to this? Because I know it's kind of a one-off, and I know that their reaction was, you did what in the county? And talk to me about whether or not any other counties have added this, and not the reaction, but what's happened because of this funding here in the county? What does this enable EMS services to go from and to?
Okay, well, I can speak to it. I can tell you that there are no other counties out of 67 that fund their EMS in the level that Pike County does. I don't want to say that they don't fund it all. I'm not sure of that, but definitely not to the level that we do, where we developed a program that was a two mil match, which incentivized, maybe at the hesitation of some municipalities, at the hesitation of some of them, but we incentivized them to do it. We said, if we're going to have robust EMS services in this county, we're going to put our money into it. So basically, we're taking tax money and putting it back into our municipalities. We're giving them back a rebate, if you could so call, except that we're telling them where they have to spend it. How is this beneficial? I mean, Tim can speak to it, but I'll just tell you that the response time has just about become, 4 years ago, in some cases of this county, it was 45 minutes for an ambulance to get to certain places. Now the response time when they leave the station is within minutes, because for the most part, every station has paid staff in to do it. And when they're called, they're immediately getting in the ambulance and going. In the case of the borough here, and probably even Matamoros and Westfall, because the stations are so close to the homes, they're in these houses within 5 minutes. Before that, you had to wait for the volunteers, which we all depended upon, and we still depend on them a lot, to get to the firehouse and then go and get to the person's home. So it's been extremely successful. We have you have a township like Lehman Township, who prior to this didn't have an ambulance service that the township operated. This money was able to give them the ability to buy 1 or 2, could be even 3 ambulances. They have paramedics and they have EMTs, correct? I'm speaking correctly to that, right? And there's one of our largest municipalities, but it was this money that helped them do that. So that's the success of this, and it'll continue as long as we can keep up. We will continue to fund this.
How much of it, you guys just kind of got the budget done and you're acting, or you're advertising the budget. How hard of a grind was this program on the budget, and do you feel that it's worth it that much?
It's a really good question, because I've said from the very beginning, when Matt and I first introduced this at a meeting, we knew we were stepping out of our lane. And it really wasn't our responsibility to do this and fund the EMS, because it should be done at the municipal level. But it's our obligation, and that's what we're charged to do, is public safety. I will say it's impactful. It also is very difficult to balance a budget when you have a number in there that isn't a requirement, like many of the other numbers in the budget. This isn't a requirement, but for me personally, it is. And as long as I'm here, I will vote to continue to do this, because I think it's innovative. I think when we go to counties, meet with other counties, they say, how did you fix your system? Some of them are going to do it going into the future. I think some of our border counties are considering it right now. If there was legislation in place in order for us to do this by referendum, we would do it. If the municipalities stepped up, like some of the municipalities here, I think of Lackawaxen Township, and they did another referendum to go far beyond what they can do without doing a referendum, we wouldn't need to do it. But I think it's a system that brought them into the mix, and now they are dependent on this match, and taking it away would lead us right back to where we came from, and in my opinion, it's not something we should ever do.
You know, if I could just say, when it comes to the millage rate of this, it's 2 mills. This comes directly out of our general fund. The one thing we're requesting from Harrisburg and from CCAP to do this is to give the county the ability to put in what we would call a directed millage. The townships and the municipalities have the ability to put in their line items. I mean, you see this on the county tax bill where the debt service is outside of our general fund. In the cases of municipalities like boroughs and townships, they have the ability to take EMS and fire and put that outside of their general fund. And that's where they can have a referendum to increase it from their bases. I think in a borough, maybe even a township, is a $0.5 mil, but they can go as high as they want if they put it out the referendum. Many of them have gone to the 2 mil to match our 2 mil. We would really like to see the state give counties the ability to put it out to a referendum, as Ron said, to ask the public if we can put a separate millage rate on our tax bill for 2 mills. So that would give us more abilities in our budget. It would give us some more dollars to work with in the general fund. But right now, what we have to do is we just have to take this money directly out of the general fund. We do it, and we're going to continue to do it, but it certainly is a push that we're asking Harrisburg to do to give the counties the abilities. And, like everything in the state or any place, we don't want to have it mandated. We want it to be, give the counties the ability to do it. And if the residents of the county so choose to do it, then we can do it. Because I know some counties will say, we don't want to be forced by Harrisburg to do anything. And none of us like to be forced to do things. Because each county has its own type of situations. And in our case, 2 mills was the number that seemed to satisfy the needs in our county. It could be more, it could be less in other counties, I don't know. That's, but we need to push for that so that it would give us a little capacity in our budget a little bit more.
Wasn't this a referendum in Lackawaxen where they passed it like almost, like it's a blocking number? Right?
They've all passed within fairly large numbers, In fact, I think Matamoros has just passed in the last election, and it was a fairly large number where they went to the full 2. They went to the full 2 mills. And I don't know, none of them have lost. I mean, there's always going to be people that are opposed to this because some people just don't want to have new taxes. But, EMS taxes, to me, emergency service taxes. Who doesn't want to make sure that our fire and ambulances aren't funded correctly, right? It's like mom and apple pie. I mean, we need to make sure that these things are in place. They're a piece of infrastructure. As much as water, sewer, and gas are infrastructure, most important piece of infrastructure in a community is when that ambulance, when you're laying on the floor in your house, you're hoping that ambulance is coming pretty darn quick. And we have to make sure that we fund it.
Thanks for the soundbite.
Thanks.
Kristen, did you want to say anything?
Just echoing my colleagues to the extent that, in an ideal world, every township and municipality would put some type of referendum in place, because this is a shared burden, right, on every resident in the county. And I think the equal distribution in that way would be the better way to go, because we are revenue limited. But I completely understand and obviously support this program that's been in place for the last few years. The only concern that I do have is our ability moving forward as we continue to be revenue limited and as costs and things continue to grow. How do we make that balance? But that's something that we will tackle obviously down the line.
I totally agree that healthcare is part of our critical infrastructure in any municipality. That being said, and being aware of the benefits of quick response time by our ambulance, fire capabilities within the county, have we, not only from a performance metric standpoint, but from just a networking or coordinating standpoint, have we worked with local realtors and local businesses, letting them know to communicate to peer businesses and potential new homeowners that this county has a capability that can, if you're a second homeowner like myself, or an existing homeowner, or somebody working as a contractor or cutting down trees on property, that if you're in need, first response will be coming pretty quickly. I know several years ago when I had one of my many heart attacks, we had the urgent care here, the response was very good. Matter of fact, I'm a Dingman Township resident. Milford Borough wasn't able to take me to the hospital in Sussex County, but Delaware Township did. And they did it pretty darn quick. It saved my life. So I guess my question is, do we or can we continue to ensure that our local realtors and our larger businesses or our Chamber of Commerce can strongly communicate that this capability as part of the critical infrastructure of Pike County exists and needs to be sustained through Greater Pike Foundation?
I think you make a really good point. I think people are sick of me talking about it, because every single time that I'm in front of that group of people that you're talking about, or any event, it's where I begin and end anything that I'm saying. So we can do better. We will continue to do better. And you're going to hear some exciting things on medical services come out in the next month and beyond. So thank you for your comments, and trust that we speak about it as much as we can. Getting the word out in Pike County is difficult. We will
Thank you,
continue.
Commissioners.
Yep. Anyone else? Right?
Fred Weber, Milford Borough. So these are good points. So I'm curious about revenues that we get from casinos. Is that just going to the general fund, or is that allocated specifically to line items in the budget?
We don't directly get money from the casinos.
Okay. No, it's distributed?
We have to apply. No, we have to apply for it. That's the LSA grants. And
okay.
Sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. But that is directed towards certain projects. So we don't just, they don't just come up here with a check for us for the, it'd be nice if they would, but we have to apply. So I know many municipalities apply for LSA grants. Ambulance services do for new ambulances. But there's not a really large pot of money. It is a large pot of money, but it's spread out among a large amount of municipalities, because that LSA fund, remember, that we pull from goes for Monroe, Wayne, Carbon, and Pike. And Monroe, being the county that has the casino located within it, gets the largest amount. So where does it go? It goes into our general fund, but not specifically just for general fund use, goes for specific use. Whatever we applied for that grant has to be spent on that grant. And I know Timmy's gotten some up there for different pieces of equipment. Ambulance services have, fire companies have, but not to the level that we would think that we should be getting. But that's another whole other story.
So one last question. So now that the government shutdown is over, is Mr. Donahue re-engaged with NPS about restoring a star?
Well, Mr. Donahue didn't, but I did just in the last couple of days, and I did today. In fact, I just shared with them a text I sent to both the Congressman's office and to the Senator McCormick's office. So for the just what you said, I said, now that the shutdown's over and you've started back up the nuclear reactor, can we, get going? Because I'm sure that's what it took to get this thing started again. And once they shut it down, it's like that.
So I heard that 3 Mile Island is coming back, right?
Yeah. So we've reached out to them.
Okay.
Well, that being said, I know when we first started Restore the Star, I reached out to Post 139, and through our finance officer, we donated some funds to Restore the Star. Getting back from a political elected official standpoint, Pike County, I believe, as long as I've been here, is a very patriotic, pro-veteran county from everything I've seen in the past 25, almost 30 years. Can we stress to the next level of elected officials how important a symbol of American patriotism, especially as we move to 250 July of next year, it is for the, I'll throw the monkey out there, the mental health of our veterans, as well as, I can't speak for non-veterans, in this community. Bresnahan, everybody needs to be aware of that. It's not just, words coming off the lips of, people like Mr. Weber or yourselves. It's really the community needs a symbol.
That is how we have put this forward to them. There's just a text that I sent them this morning saying it would be a really nice 250th birthday gift to the county of Pike if you could get the star reinstated. So we've already stated that to them. So we just have to, these are processes in the federal government. It's a big machine, and we just have to be patient.
But you're right. Even talking to people that aren't veterans, these were kids that grew up here and now adults have moved away. And when the conversations I've had is they always said that when they used to come down Broad Street and the star was lit up there, they said, I'm home. That was their sign that they were home. They made them happy. And yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this as far as mental health. And I think just the fact that had been up there since 1930 is a big deal. So
we first saw it in 1977.
I'm sorry?
We first saw it in 1977.
Yeah, we missed it.
Okay, is there anyone else? Okay, seeing none, have a motion to adjourn? Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.